Under the Volcano is a novel by Malcolm Lowry that was first published in 1947. The novel is set in Mexico on the Day of the Dead, November 2, 1938, and tells the story of the final day in the life of Geoffrey Firmin, a British consul living in the small town of Cuanahuac. The novel is a complex exploration of alcoholism, political turmoil, and the search for redemption in the face of personal and historical tragedy. Geoffrey Firmin is a former alcoholic who has been living in Cuanahuac for several years with his estranged wife, Yvonne, who has returned to him after leaving him for another man. Geoffrey is haunted by his past, which includes a failed marriage, a lost career, and a tragic incident in which he accidentally killed his own brother. Throughout the novel, Geoffrey struggles to maintain his sobriety, but he is constantly tempted by the local bars and the free-flowing tequila. As the Day of the Dead festivities begin, Geoffrey's emotional state becomes more and more unstable, and he begins to lose touch with reality. One of the key themes of the novel is the political turmoil in Mexico at the time. The country was in the midst of a revolution, and there were frequent clashes between the government and the rebels. Lowry uses this backdrop to explore larger themes of power, corruption, and the struggle for justice. Throughout the novel, we see glimpses of the violence and chaos that is occurring outside of Cuanahuac. At one point, Geoffrey witnesses a brutal police crackdown on a group of protesters, which he finds deeply disturbing. Later, he meets a young man who is involved in the revolutionary movement and who urges Geoffrey to join the fight for justice. As the Day of the Dead festivities continue, Geoffrey's mental state deteriorates further. He becomes increasingly paranoid and delusional, and his relationships with those around him begin to break down. He accuses Yvonne of betraying him with another man and becomes convinced that she is plotting against him. One of the most striking aspects of the novel is Lowry's use of language. The prose is dense and complex, with frequent shifts in time and perspective. Lowry employs a variety of literary techniques, including stream-of-consciousness narration and surreal imagery, to create a sense of disorientation and psychological depth. One of the most memorable scenes in the novel is the surreal dream sequence in which Geoffrey encounters a group of ghostly figures, including his deceased brother and a mysterious woman named Mara. This scene is both haunting and beautiful, and it captures the sense of spiritual searching and existential despair that pervades the novel. Ultimately, Under the Volcano is a powerful and deeply moving novel that explores the human condition with rare insight and empathy. Through its portrayal of a man struggling with addiction and despair in the face of historical and personal tragedy, the novel speaks to the universal struggles of the human experience. One of the most interesting aspects of the novel is the way in which Lowry uses Mexico as a metaphor for the human condition. Mexico is a land of great beauty and rich cultural traditions, but it is also a place of great violence and political turmoil. Similarly, Geoffrey Firmin is a complex and flawed character who is both deeply damaged and deeply human. In the end, Under the Volcano is a novel about the search for meaning and redemption in a world that often seems chaotic and meaningless. It is a novel about the human struggle to find connection and purpose in a world that is often cruel and unforgiving. And it is a novel that speaks to the essential humanity of us all, even in the face of our darkest moments.
We hope you are enjoying the content on the library channel. Our team is dedicated to bringing you the best book summary, recommendations, and literary discussions on YouTube. If you are finding our content helpful, we would greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts or suggestions, and subscribe to our channel. This will help us grow and continue to provide you with more great content in the future. Thank you for your support and happy reading.